How a blowup of heavy rain and storms in the Southwest Caribbean is bringing heavy rain and flooding to other areas. We'll look if there's any tropical issues and your weekend forecast as well. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here with you at Meteo Mundo on this Friday. I hope you've been having a great day. Coming up in this forecast video, we're going to take a look at what's going on in the Southwest Caribbean. A big bomb of showers and storms there, some heavy and flooding rains for other portions of our area. Of course, your weekend forecast as well. Speaking of that, if you've been looking for your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, you've found your home here at Meteo Mundo. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I want to appreciate our subscribers and thank you for hitting that like button. And if you have a specific question about the forecast, just drop that in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer. Let's get into it here. Okay, so you're looking at a little bit broader perspective of our enhanced satellite imagery. Got to start off with what's happening right now in the Southwest Caribbean, just off the coastline of South America and Panama and Costa Rica. Just a big blow up of moisture and heavy rain and storms. Most of this is offshore, but it has brought a lot of heavy rain to Panama, portions of South America, and even as far east today as Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. The ABC Islands have seen some showers passing by, but it's a big plume of moisture, guys, and this is beginning to stream and funnel up to the north and to the east, and it's beginning to also interact with that surface trough that I talked about over the last couple of days. So guess what's happening? You still have that surface trough in play, and now all of this moisture is coming into Hispaniola, and it's just providing more lift and more heavy rain for the island, an area that has been inundated in rain the last several days. So big problems will continue, especially as this moisture feed, this moisture plume continues to come into the area. So here's how it's playing out on this Friday. Look at all of the rain developing across the island, from Lacay and Port-au-Prince in Haiti to Santiago de los Caballeros and Santo Domingo and Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. This is an area that has had several inches of rain and some flooding over the last several days. Unfortunately, that opportunity will continue, especially again, because Hispaniola is a very mountainous area. So in the higher terrain, where we've had some of the most rainfall, I would expect there to continue to be mudslide and landslide issues. Please keep that in mind, and then localized flash flooding. And this would be all of the island. It has been more concentrated inland, but Puerto Plata and Santiago de los Caballeros getting some heavy rain right now. Some of that could stream into Santo Domingo and La Romana and Punta Cana. It's just a wet forecast, guys. And unfortunately, it's going to stay wet in this area over the next several days. So the flood potential will exist. If you live in this area, let me know. Drop in the comment section below. Some of you have, and I appreciate those updates. We're thinking about you guys. But again, I have concerns for Hispaniola with the excessive rain threats continuing. We'll look at how much more rain I expect coming up in the next 5 days in just a little bit. Another area that continues to see some heavier rain is Puerto Rico. Now, it has not been as wet today in the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands, but we continue to see some excessive rain in portions of Puerto Rico. And I can show you that right now with our live radar out of San Juan. So you're looking at the live radar on this Friday afternoon out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, generally today, the rain has been heaviest inland, and these areas that you see the rain falling right now are actually under flash flood advisories. They're not warnings, but basically what the Weather Service is saying is there's been enough rain and the soil's wet, and there's, you know, all the ingredients are there, if you will, for potential localized flooding as this rain persists. And that's the problem, because Puerto Rico will be an area that will continue to have at least good rain chances through the weekend. I hope it's drying out a little bit quicker than the Dominican Republic, but still the opportunity for more excessive rain across the island. As I mentioned, it has not been as wet today for places like St. Thomas and St. John and St. Croix and portions of the British Virgin Islands as well. Okay, let's get rid of the radar here. I'm gonna actually swing back over to our broad perspective. And one other area I want to talk about that could get some heavier rainfall is back in Jamaica. Now, you guys are just west of where that moisture axis is, at least the thickest moisture, but we could see some of that stream in. And I do expect some showers and even isolated storm to develop across the island this afternoon. And you can see some of the clouds on our visible satellite imagery beginning to kind of bubble up a bit as well. Temperatures across this area right now are still mainly in the upper 80s to the lower 90s. So we haven't had a lot of thicker cloud coverage with heavy rain as of yet. Kingston is still in at 91, but again, we could catch some of this rain across the island later, and Jamaica is one of those areas where I think rain chances overall will be improving a bit. As I broaden out this perspective, these are your temperatures across our region, and it's very clear to see, obviously, again, with the cloud coverage across Hispaniola, some areas have actually stayed in the upper 70s for today. We've had a few light showers across the Leeward Islands. Generally speaking, it's been a fairly dry forecast there. The good news is that the dust layer is beginning to move off towards the west, and although there's still some haze, I do expect that to get better over the weekend. So that's looking pretty good from Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda down. And again, you want to see an area that's had a little bit of rain. All you got to do is look at these temperatures that have fallen back down in St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat and Antigua. We've had some showers develop across the islands on this Friday. And again, temperatures falling in accordance with some of that rain. Guadeloupe trying to catch a couple of showers as well. It gets a little bit drier as you get down towards Dominica and Martinique, St. Lucia and the Grenadines, St. Vincent included as well. Can't rule out an isolated shower rolling over Barbados. You can see some of that cloud coverage. And then I think we are going to basically be dry for places like Tobago and Trinidad, an isolated shower possible in Grenada. I'm going to swing back over here to the ABC Islands because, again, little cluster of clouds moving back in, and at least some passing showers have moved in. You can see these are kind of the thinner high clouds here, so there's not as much moisture concentrated with this, but certainly the opportunity for the islands to catch a couple of showers. And then there's that ball of very thick cloud coverage here across portions of the Southwest Caribbean. Otherwise, again, temperatures are pretty nice. The Bahamas have been enjoying a very nice day, upper 70s to the lower 80s. Let's look at winds. Taking a look at where we have some excessive wind gusts. Well, obviously, with some of the heavier showers coming in, these are some of the areas that I would expect to have some stronger winds, and we're seeing that right now. San Juan in Puerto Rico, nearly 30 mile an hour wind gusts from time to time. We've had some breezy conditions across portions of the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands, and across the Leeward Islands as well, again, from time to time. Montserrat, 30 mile an hour wind gust. Martinique, a 28 mile an hour wind gust. So a little bit calmer winds, but still some breeze and some haze down in portions of Trinidad and Tobago. We've kicked up a little 30 mile an hour wind gust over Curacao at the hour as well. Otherwise, just kind of zooming out in a broad perspective, not much more wind, a little bit right along the Central American coastline. Before we get into the forecast for the weekend, I do want to touch on the ocean temperatures, okay? Because I want you guys to look at the Southwest Caribbean in general. Now, this is going to be a loop that is going to take us all the way out into early May, if you look at the top right-hand side of your screen. But the temperatures right now in the Caribbean and the Atlantic in general are out of control warm. I've mentioned that many, many times. But look how much warmer they're forecast to get in a much broader area. We are going to be well into the very high upper 20s Celsius in a couple of areas, knocking on the door of 30 degrees Celsius, right in this area where we have that complex of showers and storms. And again, nothing I'm seeing right now has this developing into anything tropical, but it's like bathwater out there already, and off the southwest coastline of Jamaica, and then more and more off the west coast of Haiti, and then even towards the Leeward Islands there, you can see we're getting more of those darker browns coming in, 29 and a half, nearly 30 degrees Celsius water temperatures here. When you have warm water temperatures, it's like fuel to the fire with tropical systems, guys. And we've already mentioned how wind shear is going to be quite low as well. Now, this is just one ingredient, okay? This is not the only thing that would be conducive to tropical development, but it is one of the ingredients, and it is primed. I mean, it's just absolutely primed already. And here we are, not even into early May as of yet. So the first thing I want to do as far as the forecast goes, and again, thank you so much for liking the video and subscribing if you have not become a subscriber yet, is I want to look at the winds. So I'm going to switch over to our wind gust product. So this is going to be the wind forecast over the next 5 days. And I want to bring this in because, again, we would pick up on any spin with this product in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. Now, right behind me, again, they put on a little test area. If you see anything out there, that's nothing, guys. That is simply my computer system testing the tropical layer. So I apologize for that. Most of the layers I used, I took off the tropical one. I forgot this product. Nothing is out there right now. So again, in the southwest Caribbean, I don't see any spin. That's good news. So this complex of storms should kind of eke its way west and then fizzle out. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, there's a ton of wind energy in the south and the western sides of the Gulf of Mexico, but at this point in time, there's no flare up to anything like that. We're going to stay with the easterlies. That's a cold core mid-latitude cyclone. Again, here at the beginning of this loop, you might be able to slowly see that one little feature we are monitoring fade away, but that's about it. So again, getting back to the here and now, nothing should be developing here in the Southwest Caribbean. These are wind gusts. As a matter of fact, if you want to real quickly, I can switch over to the 10-meter winds. So these are basically the lowest level winds here. And again, you'll see some fresh breezes on this product, but we're not going to see any spin here. That's good news. So it's something I really took a deep dive into before I came on and made the video today, because again, it's an area that I'm going to be monitoring, but so far none of the models are really trying to latch onto anything. Again, I remind you it's late April, but it is something that is of note. And here at the beginning of this loop again, you might just catch the tail end of this little system that we talked about. There it is right there. Just finally fading away. That was the one that prompted that special tropical outlook from the Hurricane Center in our technical first disturbance of the year. Okay, let's get into what the rainfall is going to look like here over the next 5 days. And again, the areas of concern will be the ones that I've already highlighted, and it is going to be the Dominican Republic, it's going to be Haiti, portions of Puerto Rico, but I'm really focused in on right now the island of Hispaniola. So let's do it. This is what the rain looks like over the next 5 days, and I'm just going to let this run. The combination of the moisture to the south, that surface trough over the area, will provide ample moisture and high opportunities for rain each and every day over the next 5 days. It might fade slightly early next week, but look at the rain developing across the islands here as we go through time. All right, that's one more loop. I'm going to pause it. So this is later this evening, and you can see that we continue with the heavy rainfall across the island. It will die back down a bit, but not completely dry overnight. And then additional showers and storms flare up tomorrow. As we get into Saturday, again, I'm hoping that maybe we don't have as heavy of rain on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, but showers are still going to be out there, guys. This is into Monday. And then as we get into Tuesday, take a look at that. Another additional round of heavy storms. This is an area that's going to be inundated in rain, and something we'll have to keep a very close eye on. Again, if you live in this area, please keep us up to date. Would like to know how things are going. In Puerto Rico, at the same point in time again, we should begin to fade this rain a little bit quicker. So I can't rule out an additional flood potential for Puerto Rico and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, but this is not my main area of concern because the rain is going to be a bit more spotty and the moisture will begin to fade in this area on Sunday. So you can see on, Saturday and into Sunday, we'll get some spottier showers, and then Monday into Tuesday, not completely dry, but just not as pronounced rain as what they're going to see over the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Some scattered showers for portions of, as I've mentioned, the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands. Certainly the Leeward Islands are going to get some showers as well. And again, just like today, we've had some heavy rain in some spots, passing showers across the islands. I think this is absolutely the forecast over the next few days. That being said, many dry hours in locations, wouldn't be changing any plans, and thankfully, the air quality is getting better in this area as the Saharan dust dissipates. Now, some areas that could use more rain down on the Windward Islands will at least try and get a slightly better opportunity. Barbados and Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to try and get you a few more showers into this region. For the ABC Islands, again, we've had some moisture come back in over the mainland. That will begin to kind of shut off a bit over the weekend as well. So I think your best chance for showers is later today, is Saturday, and then it's back to some spotty but breezy conditions, spotty rain, breezy conditions for the ABC Islands after that. I do want to, real quickly again, just show you what's happening in Hispaniola because I want to talk about the 5-day forecast in Santo Domingo. So again, a lot of green, a lot of orange, a lot of yellow on that map. The chance for rain each and every day remains high. 80% chance, and I apologize, that should say Friday. I apologize for that. So it's an 80% chance for Friday. And then you can see the rest of the 5-day forecast just says exceptionally wet. Even into early next week, a 60% chance. And each and every day, especially the next 3, the opportunity for some excessive, heavier rainfall comes along with it as well. Now, some of this moisture is going to swing over to Jamaica, where we could use a little bit more rain here. So, rain chances for places like Kingston and Ocho Rios and Mandeville and Maypen, Savannah, Lamar, my friends in the St. Elizabeth area, and Westmoreland Parish, and Montego Bay and Negril. Everyone has higher rain opportunities starting generally tomorrow and then at least through early in the week. We might dry out again right at the end of the period, but for this afternoon, a spotty shower or two. I don't think it's completely dry. The model might be undercutting it a little bit for your Saturday. Here we go. We start to see more moisture coming back in. Now we start to see this kind of situated over the island. Then we get more rain and even a few storms beginning on Sunday and then into Monday and then even into Tuesday as well. And you can see that even on Tuesday, our rain chance remains higher with the opportunity for some heavier rain and even an isolated storm as well. So for Jamaica, rain chances will begin to improve and hopefully undercut some of the heat and the humidity. At the same time, just to show you here that again, down in this area where we've had the flare up of storms, the model just actually tries to spin it back almost south, kind of taking it back into the Pacific and fading it a bit, but it's just kind of situated right over portions of Panama and Costa Rica, but it doesn't move much. Nothing that I've seen tries to really lift whatever the core is of that to the north and to the west. That would be the biggest concern if this were to stay in the open, very bath-like waters of the Southwest Caribbean, but I don't see that happening right now. My friends in Belize, we've had a few coastal showers, mainly in the morning hours. That trend will continue. You can see Belize City will catch a little bit of morning rain. Some of that could drift inland as well. San Ignacio could catch a shower. San Pedro will more than likely catch a shower. Roatan and Honduras could catch a shower as well. It's only about a 20% chance. Highs along the coastline, upper 80s. Inland, though, it's the upper 90s. Still, it is going to be quite hot. Now, my friends in the Bahamas. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You guys have enjoyed a beautiful forecast lately. Haven't had a lot of highlights here. Again, I mentioned it in yesterday's video. There will be some spotty rain trying to develop over the weekend, but it's so light in nature, generally speaking. There's just not a huge concern here. I'm going to switch over to the HRR model, high resolution model in this area. And yeah, you know what? We can look at wind. I have no problem looking at that as well, because I kind of wanted to mention the winds here. The winds, again, might freshen up slightly in the northwest Bahamas on Saturday and early on Sunday, and you can kind of generally see that, but it's not going to be crazy if you look at your scale here up top. If we were to get into kind of those pinks and those whites, I'd be a little bit more concerned, but it's going to be a bit of a wind coming out of the east, all right? So boaters, keep that in mind. I haven't seen any big highlights for the weekend boating, but I would imagine the exposed waters, we could have some long period swells out there out of the east. Now, moving back over to your actual reflectivity, so we're looking at rain here, and I'm going to loop this up. Again, this is a high resolution model. It might take a second to fully load up here, but it's a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fast moving, racing showers from the east to the west for Nassau and Arthurstown, and maybe portions of Andros and Eleuthera and Abaco and Grand Bahama. Some spotty rain. It's not going to be completely dry, but I mean, just look how fast these showers are blasting through New Providence here. Again, no big concerns as far as being outdoors. You might just need to run inside and let one of these fast-moving showers, literally fast-moving, race across your area. Again, I would expect there to be some easterly swells, so boaters just keep that in mind. You know your area here, but staying in the sheltered locations might not be a bad idea. And we can have some of the spotty rain drift back into the southeast Bahamas and portions of the Turks and the Caicos as well. So after what's been a fairly dry forecast for our friends in the Bahamas, at least the opportunity for some spotty rain moving back into your area. So how much rain could we get? It's not fantastic, especially in late April, to be talking about a lot of rain like this in an area that has been inundated. So you're looking at, from right now over the next 5 days, this takes into account nothing that has already fallen again, and you're looking at 3, 4, close to 5 more inches of rain on this model in a couple of spots. It still favors inland locations compared to the coastline, where Santo Domingo might get another 1.5 inches of rain. Punta Cana, maybe slightly less than that, but Samana, more than 2 inches. Again, we're not looking at one spot, right? You know, I would never say that, but we want to kind of average this. So the average is still another 2+ inches of rain in a lot of locations. And that is going to be a bit of a concern. There's a bullseye right there of 4.5 on the model. But again, we're kind of averaging this. Lakai at 3. So you get the idea. There's several more inches of rain in the spot that has already had a lot of rain and where we already have saturated soil and we have obviously a lot of terrain. So all of that is concern that I'll continue to monitor. Then take a look at Jamaica. Again, we're getting more bullseyes here just off the coastline. You know, the model says that moisture is close enough where we get nearly a half foot of rain there. Port Antonio, places like that, maybe 2 to 3 inches of rain. Kingston, 1.5 inches. Look at this nice little bullseye right inland there. So we're talking about Mandeville, Maypen area, other areas there as well. You know, more than 2 inches of rain over the next 5 days. I think you guys would take it, generally speaking, right? Let me know in the comments section below. But, you know, these are solid rainfall totals overall compared to what we've seen across the island, again, over the next 5 days as we push into the very wee hours of the beginning of May. For my friends in Puerto Rico, again, not as concerned here, but still some good rain. Mayagüez, maybe more than 1 inch of rain. Guayama, 1 inch. Fajardo, a little bit more than 1 inch of rain as well. We can handle that. Culebra, Esperanza, a bit of more than 1 inch of rain. St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John. I'd put up between 1/2 inch and 1 inch in most spots. Again, there's a little bullseye of some heavier rain for St. Bartholomew and St. Martin and Anguilla, where we could catch more than 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So I don't want to underscore that you guys aren't going to get some showers, but when we compare it up to some other spots, it's not bad, and some of you might enjoy that rain, to be quite honest, especially with all the haze that you guys have been seeing recently. Guadalupe and Dominica, potentially more than 1 inch in a couple of spots. Again, the rain chances and the heavier rain chances fade the farther south that you go. And once again, my friends in Trinidad and Tobago and even Grenada, very little rain to actually put in the buckets is going to be falling. Now, we could catch a couple of passing showers, but I don't think anything that's going to be very prominent. ABC Islands, again, your best chance is over the next 24 hours. Otherwise, I think you're going to be dry. You can see that bullseye of moisture off towards your west. And again, you know, in this area where the rain is falling right now, it's a few more inches. Panama City could have more, but you notice that into the Pacific as this system trundles south and west, you pick up a bullseye of more than 1 foot of rain. Again, could you imagine if that's actually going north and west? Nothing's saying that it is. The models are trying to actually move it across Central America and into the Pacific. But man, it's a lot of moisture for this time of the year to be talking about that. Right along the Yucatan Peninsula and Belize, again, about 1/2 inch of rain in some spots. And as I've mentioned here, these quick passing showers just aren't going to add up to a ton. I think that's about the most we would get in Nassau, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain. Not a lot for Grand Bahama, Freeport, Lucaya, 1/10 to maybe 2/10 of an inch at most. Friends, that's an exhaustive look at your forecast. Again, you want to find us across all of social media. It's Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, mymeteomundo@gmail.com. Hit me up with a picture or video. I'd love to show that. You have a business inquiry, you can do that there as well. Friends, have a great rest of your Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.